Greetings, scholars. That is I, David, your mind mechanic. It is the morning rush, coming to you from Mobile Studio TS, where, well, as I drive through the rolling green hills of West Central Missouri, where I get my introduction all wrong, and if you're watching this on video, the poison ivy is really angry this year. I mean, you know, if I'm pointing, I mean, look at this. Good golly. Wow. It's not comfortable. But the show must go on. I don't think people are getting on here to look at my face. At least not in the weird way that you shouldn't be looking at my face. So, I thought I would give a little bit of an update for everyone. If you've been following it all, a while back I started using an app called, I think if you go to the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store, if you type in J and, so like the word and, J 7-minute workout, you will get this neat app from the Johnson Company. It's an interval training app, and I started doing this because I have a crazy schedule. I keep hitting rumble strips this morning. I have a crazy work schedule, and I don't like exercise. Like, I like the results that it gives, but by itself, I loathe exercise. I hate it. I dislike it. And so, for me, overcoming that internal resistance is a bit of a trick. And, you know, these sorts of videos are definitely not for those easily internally self-motivated folks that have no issue being in the regular habit of exercising. This is definitely for all of you that, and there's plenty of you out there that are like me, that need to exercise a little bit more. They need to be a little more active than they are. I live an active lifestyle, but I needed just a little bit more for health, for, you know, weight management, things like that. And so I got this app because I had read some research on it about the effectiveness of even just a 7-minute workout that's interval training. So interval training, I'm going to put it in like non-technical speak. Interval training, if you're not familiar with it, is just simply, so like this workout is a good example of it, which is you have 7 minutes, and what it does is you start with a workout or an exercise, a particular exercise. So, like, it might start me off with jumping jacks. So you're supposed to do as many jumping jacks as you can in the time allotted, and it only does it for a little bit of time, maybe a minute or two, and then it gives you maybe a 5-second pause, and it moves you to some other exercise. So it might say jumping jacks, and then it might tell me to do a wall sit. You know, that thing where you basically make like you're sitting on an invisible chair, but your back's against the wall. You know, then it might make me do push-ups, so you get the idea. And it's a thing where it works different parts of your body, and it just moves you around to different exercises, different parts of the body, and it does it in a short amount of time. Now, I'll just tell you, I don't know really how many calories one actually burns doing this, but I will tell you this. I definitely sweat while I'm doing it. It has gotten easier, the little initial setting anyway that I started on. So it has varying difficulties that you can pick from. So I just wanted to give an update because, you know, I'm still doing it, which is good. That's probably a while back, like 3 years ago, I did, I was trying to do a 90-day workout challenge for myself. And it did work in terms of I was, for the most part, more regularly exercising and doing things, but my consistency was still a bit off. I also wanted to blog every day when I did that, and I didn't even remotely do that. Lame. But I learned a lot from the experience, and so whenever I came across this this workout app, I thought, I got to try it. What's the worst that'll happen? I spend 7 minutes one day and exercising, and then I don't again. I mean, that's still 7 minutes of exercise. So this is just some observations, some personal observations, and so if you're anything like me, you might, take some notes and maybe see if any of this applies to you. So to recap, hate exercise, always hated exercise. I played soccer for years, but that was because I liked the sport. I've never had this internal thing where exercise is fantastic. If you're going to give me an option between, same reward, if you give me the option of, and I'm not talking where like physical reward, I'm talking, where I'm going to be in shape at the end of it, but, if I have an option with the same reward, so if I'm going to get, some sort of reward for, would you rather read a book or would you rather do some exercise? I'm going to immediately pick read a book. That's even a book I don't want to read, because that's how much I dislike exercise, just by itself. Now, again, I know the health benefits, but again, for those of you that, that have difficulty motivating yourself to, to do the regular exercise, again, we have that internal resistance. Now, there's all sorts of things for that internal resistance. Now, I have to have a little disclaimer in here. I don't have a good way of... All right, so here's the deal. I'm interrupting myself within myself. So, here's the deal, scholars. So, some folks... So, when people talk about the runner's high, right? That is a thing. So, if you exercise enough... So, basically, the runner's high idea, if you aren't familiar... if you run enough, eventually there's enough what we would call endogenous endorphins. So basically, that we have our body produces these chemicals, these neurotransmitters that are kind of the feel-good pain-killing hormones, right? And everyone has these to a certain, and their body produces it to a certain degree, but some people produce it in higher amounts than others. And what I have observed is that not just that some people produce it in higher amounts than others, but I'll just tell you, I don't know that I've ever had the runner's high. And I want you to think about the implications of this, scholars, because I remember when I played soccer, there was a team that I played on where we had to run 3 miles before every practice, and you had to do it in a pretty short amount of time. And then and in a soccer match, a typical soccer match, you're probably running 7 miles. And so I've never experienced, in all the running I've ever done, and I've run more than 3 miles at a time, in all the running I've ever done, I've never had this runner's high. I'm the person that, and to this day, and it's always been this way, I know when I played soccer, they would, they wanted us to sit down and stretch and stuff right after some of the runs, and I hated doing it. I won't say I never did it, but I hated doing that because for me, if I want to, and I'm in a lot better shape now than I was even just a few months ago, and I'll tell you this, scholars, if I want to take a nap, I've got a little trail on my property, and if I did about 4, so think like a track for running, it's about the size of a track. So if I do 4 loops, I've done about a mile. All I'd have to do is just run pretty hard those 4 loops, and if I were to go lie down right after that, I'm going to fall asleep. It won't matter how much caffeine I've had. It won't matter how much sleep I got the night before. I'm going to want to take a nap. Always been this way. This is not new for me. It's not because I'm older and I've got some weird health issue or whatever. Again, I'm just making the point that if any of this sounds familiar to you, then, just try and keep listening. So the stuff that I've observed with myself in all of this is, it's easier to work out with a workout buddy. And I've known that for a while, but it's just really sort of, it's really sort of a kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a thing now. I don't always have somebody to work out with. Now, my 5-year-old son, if he's up, he will do this 7-minute workout with me, which is kind of fun. So that's kind of a cool thing. And it's a lot easier to do it with him. Now, I don't have too much difficulty doing this workout by myself. And I don't have a real good reason why, other than the little 7-minute workout app has a little virtual person that's doing the exercise with you. They're showing you how to do it. The little thing, it talks to you, relatively speaking. It's got some preset audio. Jumping jacks. Wall sit. Don't forget to breathe. And they give you tips on technique and how you're supposed to do it and stuff. I think I already said that, but I find that pretty helpful. So kind of a virtual assistant, a virtual workout buddy, that's part of the app. So I find that pretty helpful. I also intellectually, so I've done martial arts for a long time, and I would say martial arts is the one thing that I wouldn't say I've always been consistent. I'm still inconsistent with those workouts, but that's probably the thing that I've probably done the most in my adult life, in terms of something apart from just being active, living an active lifestyle. And I believe it's because intellectually I really like martial arts. I really kind of get off on, I love the getting your body to do these really cool, interesting, neat things. And, these things that, to the uninitiated, to those that aren't familiar with it, seem almost superhuman, and they're really not. But I really like, intellectually, I really like martial arts. I like the culture. So, the Asian culture. So I really, that's a motivator for me on that. But just like soccer, I like the sport, and so that was a motivator then. But I don't have that with just regular exercise. So I find that this 7-minute workout, I think one of the things that intellectually that I like about it, what I like about it is that, it only takes 7 minutes. So if you do a warm-up with it and a cool-down after, and they have that in the app, I think it altogether takes 10 minutes, or 11 minutes. So, that's, that's not even a big deal, right? No biggie. So, I think, for me, I definitely, the time factor, 7 minutes. I don't do the warm up or the cool down. I just go at it, and I think that's pretty neat. 7 minutes. How do you not? How can you not try? That's where I challenge anybody. It's 7 minutes. It's not like you have to go run to the gym. It doesn't take special equipment. You don't have to pay for gym membership. The app is free. Free's my favorite. So I think it's kind of a win-win all around. it's also a thing where, according to this research, if you do this every day, that 7 minutes will be sufficient to get you in better shape cardiovascularly. It can help you lose some weight. But there's nothing that says you can't do it twice a day or even 3 times a day. It's only 7 minutes. I want you to think about the implications of this, scholars. You think, I'm going to work out 3 times a day? That's crazy. Well, 7-minute workout. That's only 21 minutes. 21 total minutes. And I'm telling you, if you try your best on this interval training app, you're going to be sweating. I guarantee you will be sweating. And you'll be sweating in 3 minutes. So, I just, I kind of just want to encourage everyone in that. I hope my observations make sense. If not, shoot me a message. But like I say, I think it's just, trying to overcome that internal resistance. We have to find something that works for us and fits. I moved out to the country to have a more earthy, active lifestyle, and I do. But, I think I'd said this in a video a while ago. I went to the doctor for something completely unrelated, and I stepped on the scale, and I'm not going to say how much I weighed, but I weighed more than I really wanted to. Like, I was told many years ago that I had arthritis, and I was told that, I really should only go over X amount of weight on my body because it's just going to be harder on my joints. And I've managed the joint stuff pretty well over the years, but I'm in my 40s now, so I don't want things to get any worse. I don't want to be less mobile if I have a choice. And so, I think it's really buckling down and really just trying to be healthy. I think I eat pretty decent, but trying to be healthy. I'm trying to exercise as much as possible, be active as possible. And another video for another time, but I also want to mention that something that has helped just in my overall fitness stuff, it's not the 7-minute workout, but I've been researching and getting into this fasting stuff. If you hear about ketosis or the ketone diet, trying to not have too many carbs, especially refined carbs. And then doing this fasting thing, I came across this doctor, Peter Attia, Attia. I came across this guy. He eats once a day. So he goes 22 hours without eating, and then has a 2-hour window with which to eat. And I know that sounds like crazy talk, and I don't do this every day, but I do it once or twice a week. And then I do this intermittent fasting thing. Again, another video for another time. I'm still getting my calories. It's just I'm not eating 3 big meals a day. I'm not necessarily eating 3 meals a day. So just some food for thought. Again, maybe I'll speak more about it later. So those are my thoughts. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I hope it is somewhat informative, useful, and again, as always, if you have a question, a comment, a concern, if you want to know something, if you want me to do a video on something, please hit me up on email or social. All the links are in the description below. You can always do that. Find me on Twitter. Find me on Instagram. And we'll see y'all next time. Have a good day.